Right, so I've welded at the sides. You'd have just seen the time lapse showing me do that. I don't like how big this gap is, but I should be able to fill that in when the plate's put over the top, you know, the actual bulkhead. Basically, this piece of box section, instead of putting it right down to the floor, I'm putting it up 6 inches higher, or 5. I'm just trying to work out the exact measurement I need, because I plan on putting this cab on the short wheelbase frame that I have, and then, well, I think I already explained it in one of the videos, I think. But basically, so to make the mount, which on the short wheelbase would be this one here, I've measured it all and it will be in the same place as this box, but I'm just trying to make sure this is at the right spot. I'm at the point just trying to get as accurate as I can, and maybe going up just a tiny bits, because at least then, if I am off, I can just put some spaces in there to make it up. If it's too low, then I've got to put spaces underneath the entire, all the body mounts. Yeah, so all I've got to do is make that work, which when you look at it, a regular pickup cab would have this exact design, because they have the exact same mounting location as a short wheelbase, but obviously the cab's end is there, because they have usually on the F77s, the floor comes out here and then comes out here and then goes down here, and just a nice little box section piece there. So all I got to do is just recreate that on a not F77 cab, which should be fine. That'll be easy enough. Like I say, that'll be my mounting. I just need to, I'm gonna do like final measurements at the field just to be sure I'm right about this location. And if I am, then all's good. Okay, so looking at photographs, which I'll show. Looking at the photographs, I'm trying to work out where the body mount's going to end up exactly. It turns out where I've put this box section is completely wrong, as far as I can see. But I'm not too worried about that. I can build off the box section. The box section there is to help rigid up the body anyway, so I'm not worried about that in the slightest. I can build off it and make a new mount. It's at the right height, it just needs to be further in. Because going by my calculations, the measurements I had, which I'll show a screenshot, shows the body mount locations on the short wheelbase, a long wheelbase, and a pickup chassis, which are the ones I'm looking at are the ones here, and then the ones that go up just there. Yeah, that mount there, and then that mount there. I'm looking at the long wheelbase and then the short wheelbase, working out the difference, and that's 325mm, which if I get wherever 325 is, just about there. As you can see at this end, it's just sitting past the box section. So the bolt, sorry, the battery just cut out, but the bolt will be, so we're 1 inch to the other side of this box section, which is totally fine. I can build a bit of a nice thick plate coming off of there. There's obviously going to be a floor coming down, so that'll help. It'll be structural. It'll be plenty strong enough. Looking at photos of the F77, that floor pan at the front there is exactly the same. And these spot welds along here, you can see the seam there. That's where obviously they put the different floor pans in for the different trucks. Well, looking at it, because that one's the same, I now know if I cut just in front of that seam, and do a nice straight edge on it and do what I need to do, I know I'll be fine. On the F77, the cab's floor comes out and down, and it ends literally just by those spot welds. So as long as I cut, I'm going to go for just this side, because it helps get rid of the rust. If I go this side of the spot welds, I can then build my floor there and there, and then call it good then. And then theoretically that should be the same. That should be then the same sort of floor. It won't be exactly the same. This is obviously longer than an F77 cab, so I'm going to have a slightly longer floor coming along here, but I can live with that. There we go, that's now cut. So now, as you can see from a top-down view, that's a nice flat, perfectly straight, or near enough straight cut. I can literally now just put a sheet of steel up there, going 6 inches up, and then backwards, whatever it is, 8 inches or whatever that will be. There's the piece. I've never cut this much off a I've never cut this much of a floor out of a 4-track before. This is the most I've ever cut it. And I'm happy I did, because you get bits like this that are just so thin. Just 2 folds and it's basically snapped off. It's just so bad. Along here, and all along here has been bodged. Well, it's not been bodged well, to be fair. I think this, well, I say that, no, you can see that's been stuck on top. That's been sort of welded. It's all sort of, yeah, so I mean, at least I've cut that bit out. There is obviously still a little bit of the bodge weld in there, but I don't want to cut back no more. I don't want to make more work for myself. Yeah, so that's cut. So that's cut. This is now ready, so all I got to do now is a plate going up, a plate coming back, and then the bulkhead. And then obviously the sills, and then the cab's pretty much done. I need to check to see if there's holes in the floor at the by your feet, but I don't think there is on this one. But yeah. Right, so we've got the back welded in, just like the old one, like the other one. Only difference is, if I grab a torch as well whilst we're going in here. There you go. Is in here we got this weird lump in here this time. As I described earlier on. That's to let it fit on the short wheelbase chassis. It's when, I mean, this is only seam sealer, the welds are fine, it's just I don't want it leaking. Yeah, so that's welded in and finished. And yeah, the box section's welded from the inside, so there's no gap anywhere. The only gaps are those little gaps in those corners there, which I'll be sorting out when I do the sills. But yeah, so now that there is sorted. So yeah, that should now let the body mounts just bolt up nicely, hopefully. Yeah, there it is. I've still got the sills and everything to do, but this is the, I wouldn't say this is the hardest job, this is the bulk of the job done. At least now the cab's sealed up. The seals I'll be probably doing when I take the cab off, because I'll be able to flip the cab on its back and everything, and be able to work with them like that, because I don't want to be crawling around on this floor. Yeah, so yeah, this will be the end of the video, and I hope you've learnt something. I don't know what you would have learnt, but yeah, job done.